Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into what is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful books ever written, Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. I mean, really think about that for a second. How do you find a reason to keep going when you've lost literally everything? It's probably one of the toughest questions a person can face. Well, one man, a psychiatrist named Viktor Frankl, didn't just ask the question. He was forced to live it and find an answer in the most harrowing circumstances imaginable. You see, inside a Nazi concentration camp, Frankl didn't just manage to survive. He actually discovered something profound about the human spirit, a key to survival that would go on to offer hope to millions. So let's get into his story and the incredible philosophy that came out of it. Okay, so let's set the scene. Frankl's, his laboratory, it wasn't some clean, sterile clinic. It was the brutal, unfiltered reality of the concentration camps during World War II. And it was right there that he began to understand human suffering in its most raw, extreme form. And that leads to this quote, which is, wow. It just completely reframes how you might think about hardship, doesn't it? Frankl realized that suffering wasn't some mistake, something to be avoided at all costs. He saw it as an unavoidable and maybe even an essential part of what makes a human life complete. And you have to remember, even in this nightmare, Frankl was still a psychiatrist. He just couldn't turn off that analytical part of his brain. So he started observing everything, what was happening to him, to the people around him, not just as a victim, but almost like a clinical observer. He was trying to map out the psychological journey that everyone was on. And he broke this whole mental journey down into 3 distinct phases. First, there was the shock, that initial phase when you arrive, and it's just pure disbelief. Then, that shock gives way to a deep, deep apathy, sort of an emotional numbness that was actually necessary just to survive day to day. And then, for the very few who made it out, there was this third stage, a strange sense of depersonalization, a struggle to even reconnect with the world they had lost. But through all of this observation, Frankl noticed something absolutely incredible. Who survived? It wasn't always the biggest, strongest, or healthiest guys. No. The ones who made it, they were the ones who held on to a reason to live. A loved one they had to see again, a book they needed to finish, some purpose they had to fulfill. He saw it again and again. Those who lost their why, they were often the first to give up and perish. And that observation, that's what led him to this massive, profound realization. In a place of total deprivation, where everything, your possessions, your name, your freedom, had been stripped away, he realized there was one thing, just one, that they could never, ever take. And this right here, this quote, is the absolute bedrock of his entire life's work. The idea is simple, but so, so powerful. Everything can be taken from you, except for one thing, the freedom to choose your attitude in any given situation. That choice of how you respond on the inside, that is the last and maybe the most powerful of all human freedom. Now, Frankl wasn't actually the first person to stumble upon this idea. His experience in the camps was more like a brutal, real-world confirmation of what the philosopher Nietzsche had written years before. And Nietzsche put it perfectly. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. If your purpose is strong enough, you can endure just about anything. So Frankl takes these incredible insights, and they don't just become a memoir. No, they become the foundation for a whole new kind of therapy. He developed this practical, hands-on approach to helping people find meaning, and he calls it logotherapy. And this is really different from, say, Freudian psychoanalysis, right? That's all about digging into your past to figure out why you are the way you are. Logotherapy is the opposite. It's fundamentally forward-looking. It's all built on this core idea that our main drive in life, it isn't for pleasure or for power. It's for meaning. We all have a will to meaning. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, right? But it brings us to the big, crucial question. How do you actually find this meaning? I mean, where do you even start? And this is where Frankl gets super practical. He didn't just leave it as an abstract idea. He laid out 3 very clear, distinct paths that literally anyone can follow. And what's great about these paths is they make meaning accessible to every single one of us. So path number 1, creating something, doing a deed, building a business, writing a book, raising a family. Path number 2 is about experiencing something or encountering someone. Think about the beauty of a sunset or that profound connection you feel when you fall in love. And path number 3, maybe the most powerful of all, is the attitude we choose to take towards suffering that we just can't avoid. See how this just completely flips the script? Frankl argues that we've got it all backward. We shouldn't be asking what we expect from life. Instead, we should be asking, what does life expect from us? It's like every situation, every single day, life is posing a question to you. And you don't answer with words, you answer with your actions, you answer with your choices. Now let's bring this into the modern day. Frankl's whole philosophy is also a huge challenge to our culture's obsession with one single thing, right? The pursuit of happiness. He's basically saying happiness isn't something you can chase directly. It's like trying to catch a shadow. The more you run at it, the more it runs away. Instead, he said happiness is a byproduct. It's a wonderful side effect that happens when you're busy living a meaningful life. If you dedicate yourself to a purpose, something bigger than you, happiness just kind of shows up, often when you're not even looking for it. So really, in the end, Frankl's entire philosophy boils down to this one powerful idea. Life is always asking you something, and your answer isn't what you say, it's what you do. You answer by taking responsibility. Responsibility for your choices, for your attitude, and for digging in and finding the meaning that's hidden in every single moment. And he left us with this one last, really powerful image to wrap this whole idea up. He had a thought about the Statue of Liberty. He felt that this amazing symbol of freedom was really only telling half of the story. So he proposed something to supplement it. A statue of responsibility on the West Coast. And that image just brilliantly captures his final urgent message. Freedom, he warned us, is an amazing thing, but it's only half the story. Without responsibility, liberty can actually become meaningless. They're two sides of the exact same coin. And it's right there, in that balance between them, the freedom to choose and the responsibility that comes with that choice. That's where we truly find a life of purpose.